A coin, ordinary to most eyes, yet hiding a fortune that could change your life forever. Right in your pocket, on your dresser, or buried in a jar of pennies. A 1957 Lincoln penny, no mint mark. And not just any penny. This single coin could be worth over $1 million. Imagine holding a small disc of copper that could turn a lifetime of hard work into a single moment of unimaginable fortune. Now, think about the history behind it. 1957 was a year most Americans remember only in passing. The baby boom was in full swing. Elvis was shaking up the airwaves, and people were quietly stacking pennies without knowing that one day, some of them would hold the power to make millionaires. But why does this ordinary-looking penny carry such an extraordinary value? The answer lies in its rarity. Not every 1957 penny is the same. The ones without a mint mark, struck in Philadelphia, are extraordinarily rare in top condition. Over decades, many have been lost, spent, or melted down. Only a select few remain in pristine shape, and that scarcity drives the price into the stratosphere. Over $1 million for a single coin. You might be thinking, how could a penny that spent decades in circulation, jingling in pockets and drawers, possibly be worth that much? The truth is, this coin isn't just copper. It's history, it's a story, it's a whisper from the past telling us, notice me, treasure me, I'm rare, and I'm valuable. Every scratch, every wear mark tells a story, but the coins that have survived in near-perfect condition are the ones collectors are willing to pay millions to own. And here's the kicker. Identifying it isn't hard, but it requires attention. First, check the date, 1957. Then, look for the absence of a mint mark. That tiny omission, nothing more than a small space below the date, separates a common penny from a potentially million-dollar treasure. Next, examine the condition. Sharp details, a smooth, almost glowing surface, minimal scratches, or wear. This isn't about collecting loose change. This is about spotting the extraordinary hidden within the ordinary. Even seasoned collectors get a chill when they realize they might be holding one of these pennies, knowing it could be worth millions. Let's reset for a moment. Picture yourself opening a jar of pennies, sifting through decades of coins from birthdays, holidays, and spare change. One glints differently. The date catches your eye. You pull it out and hold it up. Your heart races. Could this be the one? The 1957 no mint mark Lincoln penny worth over $1 million? That's the thrill that drives collectors. The idea that something priceless could be hiding in plain sight. Condition is everything. Even a single scratch or slight discoloration can knock the value down by hundreds of thousands. Collectors and grading companies spend hours scrutinizing pennies under magnification, evaluating every ridge, every line in Lincoln's profile. This attention to detail is what separates a rare coin worth a few $100s from one worth $1 million, and it doesn't stop there. The 1957 penny tells a story not just of money, but of an era. Think about what America was like in 1957, a nation poised between the old and the new, holding on to tradition while looking toward the future. This penny carries that duality. It's a symbol of everyday life, and yet, a doorway to unimaginable wealth. The very same coin that once bought a pack of gum could now make you a millionaire. Every minute you spend thinking about this coin, the tension builds. Could one be in your pocket right now? Could you be the next person to discover a coin that turns your world upside down? Collectors often share stories of stumbling upon rare pennies in jars, in drawers, even in the lining of old purses. Ordinary places hiding extraordinary value. And when they realize the rarity of what they've found, the moment becomes electric. Your pulse quickens. Your mind races with the possibilities of what $1 million coin could do. Let's talk identification again, because this is where dreams meet reality. Look for that 1957 date. Verify no mint mark below it. Then examine Lincoln's profile. The details of his coat, the lines of his hair, the crisp lettering of Liberty and In God We Trust. Those details are key. They tell you whether you're holding a run-of-the-mill penny or a coin that could make history in your hands. And remember, condition is king. The better preserved the coin, the higher its value. Imagine the stories collectors could tell. One finds a penny in an old coin roll from their grandfather, another discovers it tucked into a forgotten jar. In both cases, the penny remains unassuming, ordinary, yet it hides a fortune. And here's the magic. The rarity isn't just in the coin itself. It's in the story, in the decades it survived, in the journey from a Philadelphia mint to your hands. That's what gives it life, and what gives it its value. Over $1 million. Now, take a deep breath and reset your mind. Picture the coin in your hand, feeling its weight, examining its features under light, recognizing that it's more than copper and ink. It's a piece of history, a ticket to financial freedom, a one-of-a-kind treasure that the world might never see again. And the incredible truth is, despite all its fame, despite the stories of million-dollar sales, this coin is still hiding in plain sight. It could be in your collection, your drawer, or even mixed in with the pennies on your counter. The suspense builds as you imagine finding it. Your heartbeat quickens. Could it really be worth $1 million? The answer is yes, and the story is real. Collectors pay mind-boggling sums for pennies like this, and each transaction is proof that fortune often favors those who notice the small, overlooked details. That glint of copper could change everything. 1957, no mint mark, exceptional condition. Those three factors are what separate a regular penny from $1 million penny. The moment you recognize it, the tension, the excitement, the disbelief, it's a feeling few ever experience. But if you're lucky, if your eye is sharp, if your hands are steady, that feeling could be yours. You've been handling pennies your entire life, tossing them into jars, forgetting about them in drawers, even stepping over them on the sidewalk. But what if I told you that one of those pennies could be worth over $1 million? Not just 1,000, not just 10,000, but a staggering $1.6 million hiding in plain sight. Right under your nose, right in your pocket. Right now, it's almost impossible to imagine. A single, tiny Lincoln penny from 1951, no mint mark, quietly sitting in circulation for over 70 years, while somewhere, someone like you could stumble upon it and change their life forever. But the story behind this coin is almost as fascinating as its value. Back in 1951, the United States was in the middle of a post-war boom. Families were rebuilding, children were collecting coins, and pennies were just pennies. Nobody imagined that a small copper disc, barely noticed in cash drawers and tip jars, could one day be worth more than a house. But hidden among millions of pennies struck that year, a select few carried an unusual rarity, a mistake, a whisper of history that now makes them priceless. Imagine the thrill of holding history in your hand. You see a penny, and it looks ordinary. But if it's from 1951, without a mint mark, and with the perfect alignment and crispness, you could be holding a coin that has quietly been hiding its fortune from the world for decades. Think about the stories that coin has witnessed, the hands it passed through, the pockets it warmed, the cash registers it clinked against, all unaware that it was $1 million ticket just waiting to be discovered. Here's how you identify it. First, the date. 1951. Look carefully at the numbers. Crisp, clean, unaltered. Next, the mint mark. There is none. No D, no S. Just plain 1951. That's critical because the absence of a mint mark dramatically increases its rarity. Then examine the condition. The more original the luster, the better the chances. Any major scratches, corrosion, or cleaning can reduce its value dramatically. This coin doesn't shout for attention. It whispers. You have to know what to look for. Collectors who have discovered these pennies describe it as almost a spiritual experience. You're holding something so small, so easily overlooked, yet it carries the potential to alter lives. The reality of it is almost unbelievable. A simple penny, circulating quietly for decades, suddenly becomes a treasure beyond imagining. One touch, one glance, and your entire understanding of value could change, and the suspense is real. Imagine opening a jar of pennies, sifting through hundreds, maybe thousands. Your heart beats faster as you see the date, 1951. No mint mark. Could it really be? Could this unassuming coin, dull in appearance, be the one worth over $1 million? The thought alone sends shivers down the spine, but it isn't just about money. It's about the history, the rarity, and the almost magical way that fate decides which coin survives untouched for decades. Most pennies from that era have been lost, spent, or damaged. But this one, the 1951 no mint mark Lincoln penny, managed to survive, almost by accident, quietly becoming one of the most sought-after coins in the world. Imagine telling your grandkids about this moment. Not just that you found a valuable coin, but that you held a piece of history in your hand. That a single, unassuming penny could represent so much more than money. It's a connection to a time long past, a symbol of patience, luck, and the thrill of discovery. Always check your change carefully, especially coins that have been in circulation for decades. Look for sharp details on Lincoln's profile, smooth edges without cleaning marks, and the absence of a mint mark. Even a slight deviation could mean you're looking at an ordinary penny or at a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. Every time you pick up a coin, remember, you could be holding history. You could be holding $1 million secret. Think about the emotions involved. The anticipation, the heart pounding, the disbelief that such a small object could carry such enormous potential. Some collectors describe the moment they realize the value as life-changing, almost surreal. One moment it's just a penny, and the next, it's a ticket to dreams they never dared to imagine. And it's not just a fantasy. This coin has sold, has been authenticated, and has literally changed lives. People who thought they were just penny collectors discovered that they were sitting on $1.6 million without even knowing it. That's the power of rarity, history, and timing all wrapped into a single, unassuming piece of copper. Every collector knows the thrill of discovery. But with this coin, that thrill is amplified 1,000 times. The knowledge that, with careful observation and a little luck, a single glance at your change could reveal the find of a lifetime. A coin so rare, so coveted, it could make millionaires overnight. You need to understand that this isn't about greed. It's about recognition, recognizing something rare, understanding its significance, and appreciating its journey. The 1951 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny isn't just currency. It's a bridge to the past and a bridge to dreams you didn't know were possible. Every time you handle coins, think about the possibilities. One jar, one drawer, one pocket change could hold the unimaginable. That split second when your eyes lock on the date and realize there's no mint mark, that's when your world shifts. It's the moment ordinary becomes extraordinary, mundane becomes magical, and a penny becomes $1.6 million. This secret isn't locked away in some collector's vault. It's out there, waiting for the right person to notice, the right pair of eyes to see the hidden potential. Every time you check your coins, remember, treasures like this don't announce themselves. They wait silently, challenging you to see what others missed. The next time you dig through change, examine those pennies carefully. Look at the date. Check for mint marks. Feel the weight and texture. Think about its history and the hands it has passed through. And imagine the thrill, the pure joy, the life-altering moment when you realize that one small coin in your hand could make million-dollar dreams come true. A tiny, copper coin, no bigger than your thumb, sitting in a dusty drawer, overlooked for decades. To anyone else, it's just a penny. But to the right person, it could be worth over $1 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny, hiding in plain sight, with the power to change a life forever. And that penny has a date, a mark, and a story that could make collectors' jaws drop. The 1956 D. Lincoln Wheat Penny might look ordinary at first glance, but there's a secret hidden in its design, a detail that could make this coin worth $1.7 million. To understand why, we need to step back in time, to the era when coins were more than money. They were history in your hand. The mid-1950s were a time of post-war growth, of optimism and American pride. Coins minted in Denver during this period were common, yes, but some had subtle variations, tiny errors, or perfect conditions that have made them legends in the coin world. Imagine a coin that survived decades in pockets, in piggy banks, in drawers. It escaped the eyes of thousands, unnoticed, while others around it were tossed, spent, or lost. And yet, this penny, this simple 1956 D. Lincoln, holds the potential to make someone a millionaire. It's not magic, it's rarity, precision, and history coming together in one small disc of copper. Now, you might be wondering, how do you know if a penny in your collection, or tucked away in your change, could be this life-changing coin? First, check the date. It must be 1956. Next, look for the D mint mark under the date, a small but crucial D that signals it was minted in Denver. This tiny letter is the key. But the real magic comes in the details, the coin's condition. Collectors pay millions for coins with sharp details, no scratches, no wear, and that beautiful, original copper tone. A circulated penny? Not likely to hit that $1 million mark. But a pristine 1956 D in uncirculated condition? That's where the story gets exciting. Picture holding it in your hand, feeling the smooth edges, the subtle ridges, the embossed image of Lincoln staring back at you. Every line tells a story, every curve a testament to the era it was minted in. And now, it could be your story. Over the years, some 1956 D pennies developed slight variations, almost imperceptible at first glance. Doubling in the letters, a slightly off-center strike, tiny anomalies that experts drool over. These variations are the kind of details that can elevate a common coin into a $1 million treasure. Imagine walking into your kitchen, pulling a coin from a jar, and realizing you're holding a piece of history that could be worth over $1 million. The thought alone sends shivers down the spine. Collectors are obsessed with provenance, with the journey a coin has taken. A 1956 D penny could have traveled across decades, from a cashier's till to a child's piggy bank, then to an old dresser drawer, completely unnoticed. Its story, hidden in plain sight, could be waiting for the moment when someone finally recognizes its value. And that moment, my friend, could be you. Let's talk specifics. To identify a potential $1 million 1956 D, start with the basics. Check the date, find the D mint mark, and examine the wheat stalks on the reverse. Are they fully intact? Are the lines crisp, or have they been worn down? Collectors look for those subtle details that separate a good coin from a truly exceptional one. Then, inspect the surface. Original mint luster, no scratches, no corrosion, no cleaning marks. These coins must have survived decades untouched to reach their full potential. And that's what makes them so thrilling. They are rare, elusive, and often hiding where you least expect them. Every minute you spend learning about this coin increases your chance of spotting one in your own collection. Imagine the emotional rush of realizing that a coin you've had for years, perhaps forgotten, could be worth more than a house, more than a car, over $1 million in a small, copper disc. The weight of possibility, the thrill of discovery, it's what collectors live for. Even experts can miss them. A coin might sit in a drawer, overlooked by appraisers, passed from hand to hand, never recognized for what it truly is. That's why you need to pay attention, to learn the subtle signs, to train your eyes to see what others cannot. The 1956 D Lincoln Wheat Penny is small, unassuming, yet it carries a story, a history, and a value that could redefine someone's life. Think about it. That coin has been quietly surviving, unnoticed, for almost 70 years. It has the power to transform someone's fortune, and yet, it's just a penny, sitting among thousands of others. The suspense of finding it is almost unbearable. The fear of missing it, the exhilaration of discovery, the emotional roller coaster that collectors crave. And the reward? A coin worth over $1 million. Yes, $1 million in a copper penny. So, next time you're sifting through change, don't dismiss the ordinary. Look closer. Examine the date, search for the D mint mark, study the wheat stalks, and evaluate its condition. One coin, hidden in plain sight, could turn a simple afternoon of sorting pennies into a life-altering moment. Every detail matters, every line tells a story, and every penny has potential. Collectors call it the thrill of the hunt. Historians see it as a piece of the past. And you? You could be holding a future millionaire in your hand. One coin, one discovery, one life changed forever. That's the power of a 1956 D Lincoln Wheat Penny. A coin that might seem ordinary but carries extraordinary potential. The mystery, the suspense, the possibility, it's all there, waiting for the sharp-eyed collector who recognizes its true worth. Millions of coins were minted, yet only a select few have survived in pristine condition, untouched by time, ready to make someone a millionaire. And it could be you. The excitement, the anticipation, the drama of discovering a coin worth $1.7 million. It's a story that will never get old. Remember, it's not just about money. It's about history, preservation, and the thrill of the hunt. It's about imagining the journey that coin has taken from the Denver Mint to your hand. It's about the possibility that, at this very moment, you could be holding a piece of history worth more than you ever dreamed. Imagine holding a coin in your hand, an ordinary penny, shiny or worn, passed from pocket to pocket, unnoticed for decades. Now imagine that same coin is worth over $1 million. Not someday, not in some far-off auction, but right now. You could be holding it.in 1944. The United States was in the midst of a global war. Soldiers were overseas, factories were running day and night, and everyday Americans were saving every penny. But amid all that chaos, the U.S. Mint produced something rare, almost by accident: the 1944 no mint mark Lincoln penny. On the surface, it looks like any other penny. Copper, worn, the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln. But hidden in plain sight is a secret worth $1 million. These pennies have a story unlike any other. In 1944, most pennies were made from steel coated in zinc due to copper shortages from the war. But the mint still had some leftover copper planchets from 1943. A few of these planchets accidentally went through the 1944 minting process. That tiny mistake created coins that are now worth a fortune. Collectors call them the 1944 copper penny or the $1 million penny. Finding one of these pennies is not just a hobby. It's like stumbling onto a hidden treasure map. These coins are so rare that most collectors spend a lifetime searching, sifting through rolls of pennies, inspecting every single one under magnification. And the thrill of spotting that first glint of copper is almost indescribable. It's a rush, a heart-stopping moment when you realize you may have found something that could change your life forever. First, look at the color. If it's the typical steel gray 1944 penny, it's common. But if it has a coppery tone, even slightly, it's worth examining more closely. Next, check the weight. A genuine 1944 copper penny will be slightly heavier than a standard steel penny. And finally, the mint mark, or lack of one, is critical. These coins have no mint mark. That means they were minted in Philadelphia, and every single one is extremely rare. Collectors get emotional talking about these coins. Imagine a coin surviving decades of circulation, tucked away in jars, drawers, and cash registers. Some coins were hidden by children in piggy banks, others forgotten in wallets, and now they're worth more than a house in some parts of the country. One discovery could turn an ordinary retiree into a millionaire overnight. One coin could literally be worth over $1 million. The story gets even more mysterious when you consider how many might still be out there. The truth is, no one really knows. Only a handful have ever been confirmed by major coin dealers. That means your local coin jar, or even a change you've been using for decades, could hold the ultimate surprise. Imagine digging through a roll of pennies and suddenly your eyes catch that unmistakable copper glow. Your heart races. You hold it up to the light, and for a split second, the world seems to stop. It's easy to see why collectors obsess over these pennies. The chase itself becomes addictive. Searching through roll after roll, inspecting each coin like it holds a secret, it's both meditative and electrifying. Every coin is a puzzle, a tiny piece of history. But then, when you find that copper 1944 penny, it's as if history itself reaches out and touches you. And the drama doesn't end there. Because even once you find it, authentication is critical. Experts examine every tiny detail: the font of the numbers, the alignment of the letters, the subtle variations only experienced eyes can catch. One slip, one misstep, and a coin that could be worth $1 million becomes just another penny. Imagine the lives these coins have touched. From factory floors to the pockets of soldiers, from small-town shopkeepers to lucky collectors, each coin carries decades of history. And now, in this moment, it could be yours. You might already have it in a drawer, a jar, or even in a box of old coins you forgot you had. This isn't just about money. It's about holding a piece of history that survived against all odds. Every few minutes, the mind resets as you picture it. You see it in your mind's eye: the copper glow, the weight in your hand, the thrill of holding something so rare. Every 1944 no mint mark penny tells a story of chance, of luck, of history intersecting with destiny. And for one lucky collector, that story becomes a life-changing event. Examine your pennies closely. Look for color, weight, and the mint mark, or absence of one. Handle them gently. Even a single penny, overlooked for decades, can hold a fortune. Millions have been made from coins that once sat unnoticed in drawers, on countertops, or at the bottom of a cash register. And today, you have the chance to be the next person to discover one. The excitement of the hunt, the suspense of identifying the right coin, the emotional roller coaster of knowing what you hold in your hand. This is why collectors chase the 1944 no mint mark penny. And unlike any other coin, this one could transform your life in ways you never imagined. The thrill, the history, the rarity, the potential fortune, all wrapped up in a tiny coin no bigger than your thumb. Every glance at your jar of pennies could be the moment your heart skips a beat. One ordinary-looking penny, hiding an extraordinary secret, waiting for the right person to find it. You might be holding a secret in your pocket right now, a tiny, unassuming penny that could be worth $1.9 million. It sounds impossible, almost laughable. But for those who know the secret, this is the coin that turns ordinary people into millionaires overnight. Today, we're diving deep into the mysterious world of the 1953 Lincoln Wheat Penny, a coin so rare that collectors around the world would give anything to get their hands on it. The story of this coin begins decades ago, in a quiet minting facility in Denver. Thousands of coins rolled off the presses each day, destined for wallets, cash registers, and piggy banks. Most went unnoticed, tossed into circulation like any other penny. But some, like the 1953 wheat penny, were struck with errors so subtle, so small, that only the most observant collectors would ever spot them. And those errors? They're what make this coin worth millions today. Imagine finding one of these pennies in your pocket change. You hand it to a dealer casually, expecting maybe 50 cents, and suddenly, your life changes. That is the power of this coin. It's not flashy. It doesn't scream valuable at first glance. But once you know how to spot it, the treasure is unmistakable. The 1953 Lincoln penny is small, copper, and perfectly ordinary at first glance. But the key to unlocking its million-dollar value lies in its mint mark, the tiny D beneath the date. It isn't just any D. Its placement, shape, and sharpness can indicate the rare versions that collectors fight over. Some are slightly doubled, some struck off-center, and some carry subtle anomalies that are nearly invisible to the untrained EYE.to. Check if you have one. Start by examining the date. Look closely at the numbers. Are they crisp, sharp, perfectly aligned? Then, move to the D mint mark. Is it clean, or does it appear doubled or oddly spaced? These small details separate a common 1953 penny from one that could be worth a fortune. A magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe is your best friend here, revealing secrets invisible to the naked eye. But this coin isn't just valuable because of numbers and letters. It carries a story, a history. Think about the era it was minted, post-war America, a country on the rise, a symbol of resilience. Every penny was made with care, with hope, with the belief that even the smallest coin could carry great value. And now, decades later, one of these little survivors can transform someone's life completely. Collectors describe the thrill of finding a rare penny like this as indescribable. Heart racing, hands trembling, mind racing through what-ifs. Because unlike most collectibles, this is a chance to hold a million-dollar secret in your hand. Every scratch, every detail, every tiny flaw tells a story. It's the kind of discovery that keeps seasoned collectors awake at night, dreaming about the next big find. Very few. Only a handful of 1953 pennies in exceptional condition with the rare variations have ever surfaced. And when they do, the auctions are intense. Bidding wars erupt, and ordinary people suddenly find themselves with millions in their grasp. That's the power of knowing what to look for, of spotting the subtle clues that most overlook. Let's talk about value. A typical 1953 penny might be worth $1, $5, maybe a few dozen if it's in pristine condition. But the rare variations? They cross into seven figures. One lucky collector could hold $1.9 million in the palm of their hand and not even know it until it's carefully examined. This is not a hypothetical. It has happened. People have walked into coin shops, searched through drawers, and suddenly discovered life-changing wealth. The beauty of the 1953 Lincoln penny is that it's still out there, hiding in plain sight. It could be mixed with your spare change at home, sitting quietly in a jar, waiting for the right eyes to recognize its value. That's why every coin you touch deserves a careful look. Because you never know when history and fortune have been waiting for you all along. Here's how to make sure you never miss it. Inspect every penny you have, paying special attention to the date and the D mint mark. Use magnification to catch details your eyes alone can't see. Look for doubling on the numbers, subtle off-center strikes, and imperfections that shouldn't be there. These imperfections are what make the coin unique, rare, and potentially worth millions. Remember, this coin isn't just copper. It's a story, a piece of history, and a tangible chance at a life-changing discovery. The rush of spotting a rare 1953 penny is like no other. Every collector who has experienced it describes the feeling of holding a secret that could transform their life, and it's almost impossible to put into words. Imagine sitting at your kitchen table, sifting through coins, and suddenly something catches your eye. You lift it up, examine it, and the details confirm what you've dreamed of for years. Your heart pounds. You can hardly breathe. That ordinary coin, that humble Lincoln penny, is suddenly worth $1.9 million. Dreams collide with reality. The impossible has become possible. Even if you're not a seasoned collector, the excitement is accessible. Every drawer, every jar of pennies, every forgotten coin purse is a potential gold mine. All it takes is knowledge, patience, and the willingness to look closely. Because the 1953 Lincoln penny doesn't announce itself. It hides, silently, until someone who knows the secret comes along. This coin teaches a lesson bigger than money. It's about observation, persistence, and appreciating the extraordinary hidden in the ordinary. It's a reminder that sometimes life-changing opportunities come in the smallest, most unexpected packages. And in the world of coin collecting, that's the thrill, the chase, and the magic all rolled into one. So the next time you reach for spare change, remember this story. Each penny could carry a secret waiting to be discovered. Don't rush. Don't dismiss. Look closely, examine carefully, and who knows? That ordinary coin might just be your gateway to a million-dollar discovery. You're digging through a jar of loose change on your kitchen counter, the clink of pennies filling the room, when one coin catches your eye. It looks ordinary, almost invisible, just another 1958 penny. But this isn't just any penny. This is a 1958 D Mint Mark Lincoln Wheat Penny, and it could be worth over $1 million. Yes, $1 million. Right there in your hand. The story of this penny begins more than 6 decades ago, in a small, bustling mint in Denver. Millions of pennies were struck that year, each one destined for pockets, piggy banks, and cash registers across America. Most of them faded into anonymity, spent and forgotten. But a rare few were different. These pennies hold a secret, a tiny, almost imperceptible variation that turns an everyday coin into a treasure worth millions. Imagine the first collector to realize this. He wasn't looking for fame or fortune. He was just curious, examining a penny under a magnifying glass. And then he saw it. The D Mint mark, perfectly placed, a subtle anomaly on the coin's surface that shouldn't exist. That moment changed everything. The ordinary penny became extraordinary. The once overlooked coin became a symbol of possibility, proof that life-changing fortune can appear in the most ordinary places. Oh, how do you know if you're holding this rare 1958 D penny? First, check the mint mark. The tiny D under the date on the obverse side tells you it was minted in Denver. But that's not enough. Every collector knows many pennies have a D. The secret lies in the details, the way the date and the mint mark interact, the depth of the impressions, the subtle die variations that make this coin one of the rarest in the world. The wheat stalks on the reverse side must be sharp and well-defined, with no signs of wear that would diminish the value. Every curve, every line is a clue to the hidden fortune. Now, imagine holding one of these coins. Feel the weight in your hand. Not heavy, not flashy, just a simple copper penny. But inside that small disc lies the power to transform a life. People who discovered these pennies didn't plan for it. They weren't expecting to stumble upon a fortune worth millions. And that's what makes it so thrilling. The randomness, the luck, the pure, unfiltered surprise of finding wealth where you least expect it. Collectors and experts have searched tirelessly for these pennies. Auctions have sold them for prices most of us can't even imagine. One coin, pristine and flawless, changed hands for over $1 million, all because it had the right combination of mint mark, year, and condition. And yet, despite all the searching, many are still out there, sitting quietly in jars, drawers, and old coin albums, waiting to be discovered by someone who dares to look closely. The emotional pull of this penny is hard to overstate. It's more than money. It's history, ingenuity, and the thrill of the chase wrapped in a tiny piece of copper. Picture a grandfather passing down a coin jar to his grandson, not knowing the fortune hidden among the ordinary change. That moment, that suspenseful revelation, could change a family forever. And it all starts with learning how to identify the coin. Check the date carefully. 1958, clear and sharp. Examine the D mint mark under a magnifying glass. Look for the wheat ears on the reverse. The lines should be distinct, crisp, without flattening or wear. Compare it to known examples. Every minute detail matters, because in the world of rare coins, the difference between a common penny and a $1 million treasure can be smaller than a hairline crack. Collectors often describe the feeling as magical, holding a piece of history that could be worth a fortune. Imagine the suspense each time a coin passes through your fingers, the growing excitement as you search for that perfect combination that could unlock unimaginable wealth. It's not just a hobby. It's a journey filled with anticipation, revelation, and hope. You might even feel the pulse of history in your hands. This penny traveled through decades, survived countless transactions, and somehow remained intact, waiting for the right person to recognize its value. That alone is inspiring. Every scratch, every mark, every patina tells a story, making each coin unique. And when you find the right one, the story becomes your own, a story of discovery, luck, and transformation. Now, take a step back and imagine the possibilities. Millions of pennies were made in 1958, but only a tiny fraction have this rare D mint mark in the exact condition that makes them valuable. That rarity, combined with historical significance and collector demand, has driven prices sky high. One lucky finder, who simply examined their collection with patience and care, walked away with a coin worth over $1 million. Millions, all from something most people toss without a second thought, that it's not just about the money. It's about possibility, about dreaming bigger, about realizing that life-changing fortune can appear when you least expect it. Every penny you hold could be hiding a secret, a treasure, a doorway to something you never imagined. The excitement isn't just in the value. It's in the suspense, the hunt, the story of the coin itself. Look closely at your pennies. Study them. Learn their details. Know the difference between a common coin and one that might be worth more than most people earn in a lifetime. That diligence, that careful attention, is what separates the ordinary collector from the one who discovers a true treasure. The 1958 D. Lincoln Wheat Penny is not just a coin. It's a symbol of opportunity, of potential, and of the incredible thrill of discovery. Time after time, collectors have reported the same feelings: disbelief, excitement, joy, the instant they realize they've found a coin with the right mint mark and condition. And each time, it reminds us why we hunt for these pennies in the first place. Because among the ordinary coins, the common and the mundane, a single penny can hold the power to change everything. Remember, the key is to examine your coins closely. The date, the D mint mark, the crispness of the wheat ears, the details that set this coin apart from thousands of others. Patience and careful observation are your tools. And when you find that perfect coin, it's more than money. It's history, it's luck, and it's a story that will last forever. Every collection, every jar of change, every old envelope of coins could be hiding the impossible. And the most incredible part? That treasure could be sitting right under your nose, waiting for you to recognize it. That thrill, that suspense, that possibility is why collectors keep searching, keep learning, and keep hoping.